Good morning, everyone. It's me, T, coming at you with a divine daily read of a whole bunch of different cards, like whatever, Oracle, Tarot, which you may not see right there, but yeah, I'll bring it into view very soon. And then also, these are interesting. These are like, I want to say more like Oracle cards, but they're definitely Think and Grow Rich cards, which is like, what are they calling? Oh, they're calling it prosperity cards. Yeah, damn motherfucking right. Excuse my energy for today. I feel like so many of us are going through it's like a weird energy where it's like, I don't know. It's very interesting. It's like a very transitional energy, and I feel like I want to cry all day. Like I just feel like, because I feel like I'm releasing stuff that I don't need, but I also feel like I'm doing it because of the fact that really great things are coming in. You know. Also, I mean, the new moon is on December 7th, so those of you who are, highly sensitive, you're starting to feel a little, and I feel that too. Like it kind of started hitting me last night, where I just feel like really tired and really drained. And I feel like that today, and even the weather is like that, which is so funny. I always find it like amazing how the weather always ends up being connected to my emotions, because I feel like, and that's what makes me feel really comfortable in this world. I'm not gonna lie, when the weather's like, yo, I hear you, T, like you're being validated, I'm like, thank you. All right, so it's not just me, right? Because when the weather's involved, you're like, okay, this is like how kind of the collective is feeling, so it's whatever, Okay, so the first card out is, wait, am I putting down any of these other cards right now? All right, they want me to go like one at a time. So what we're doing is we're doing yin and yang cards, but the second card is going to be like it's going to be like a midday card, like, like your reset card, but also theme of the day card. So that's how I'm going to kind of start doing these, at least for now, because that's what I'm getting to do. So this would be like your one thing to do for today, and we're gonna focus on this spread, as you would see in the title or the description, is we're focusing more on wealth and empowerment today, and also your past ancestral lineage type thing, angels. And what else? And soul family, like your soul family aspect of your life. Okay. So that's what this is really going to kind of steer you towards in order to kind of fulfill that area of your life, or those areas of your life. I was guided to basically, put these down to like, to shuffle them before I got on here. And then to kind of shuffle so these are going to be kind of like the yang cards. I have the yin cards that are not shuffled, which are, the more detailed cards of the yang and how they correlate, right? And then we're going to do another for, the Happy Hanukkah 8 days. We're going to do an extra bonus card. Okay, so that's how basically this reading is going to go. So the first card, getting right into it, is Demand Prosperity. So in the morning type essence, it says, remember, no effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. So interesting. Now, this is like amazing, because I feel like as though this is you taking action towards something that you really want. Like in terms of like you're really, your actions are speaking louder than words today, because I feel like you're just kind of, right? Like you're just, there's some sort of reset going on, right? So you're having to embrace the aspect of what it is you want, and just use your energy to steer you towards the way is it energy that I want to say? Or use your actions. Well, actions is energy, right? Everything's pretty much energy. But I'm just saying, like, you're using your actions to kind of have them speak louder than words so you don't have to express too much today, right? Like, because, again, since you're going through this, like, this really big transition in your life, like, I feel like a lot of really positive changes are going on, especially since we're talking about prosperity cards and prosperity popped up and, you know, you're leveling up. You're really needing to be gentle on yourself, right? And I feel like whoever in your life is, you know, of a miserable and poverty type of mindset, please, like, try to do your best in, you know, just keeping your energy to yourself. It's funny how, you know, usually people would say, like, stay away from them. And it's like, no, keep your energy to yourself. That's exactly what you need to do. And that's exactly what I've learned on my journey, which is, you know, you can't help these people. They have to help themselves. And that's why you would have to keep it to yourself, you know? Because this life is not about them. It's about you and what you want. So in terms of that, it's like, that's you needing to demand your prosperity and positivity is what I'm getting. So so again, it's like what I want to say is, like, it's like positivity plus patience equals prosperity, you know? And and I can cry at that because I feel like I'm going to cry at any moment because it's so freaking beautiful if you just, like, really understand what that means at such a depth level in terms of, like, soulmate concepts, right? Like, those are soulmate concepts, like positivity plus patience equals prosperity, and that is demanded from you if you want the prosperity, right? So you have to be literally so disciplined in that shit for you to receive that and nothing other than that, right? And prosperity is like an abundance, and, you know, and it can come in all different ways. So if you really stick to that, you're going to get it, and there's no doubt about it, you know, because you know it. So and it's all yeses, right? Because as I just said, no doubt about it. And I just compared in my head, like, the word knowing, like no, and then no, as in the person or people who have always told you no, which could be these people, these miserable and poverty stricken people. Like, those are it's like, what did I want to say there? Come back to me. It's like you're telling yourself yes today. And that's, you know, you have to be the yes person in your life. You have to be the yes friend to yourself in your life in order to, you know, be comfortable in demanding this prosperity and nothing else. And as you do that, it's very interesting. You'll be more demanding of other people, and to be that way, which I'm seeing the word diamond in this for some reason. So it's like you become more of a shiny diamond or a shiny pearl, because obviously there's pearls here. And, you know, you're shining your pearl up and you attract more of these people. So it's just this is why you need to do that, because it's like, it's your life. You deserve to be, you know, in your most joyous state at all times. But the thing is, you have to work for that. You can't just piggyback off of anything. You have to be that in order to receive that, you know? Amen. Something's coming up with, like, proprietary. What the fuck does that even mean there? Prosperity, proprietary. Maybe it's just like my oh, this is so cool. Okay, proprietary. I don't know why proprietary is coming up. Maybe my mind is just, like, playing, not playing, but playing around with words. I was gonna say playing games. It's like my mind never plays games. It's, like, pretty much direct and to the point. But what I'm getting is prosperity and serendipity, right? And that's what I'm also getting in that. So it's like, damn, like, because you've invested in your life in such a great and grand way, you're now getting prosperity and serendipity. So when synchronicity happens, that's, like, gonna be super fun. Like, that is a super fun life when prosperity just decides to unfurl its shit and, like, literally give you what you deserve. Are we moving on to the next card? Okay. So the theme of the day and what's going to happen, like, kind of during the midday, is take courage. I feel as though you're about to really go after what you want today, which is interesting because if you watch my video from last night, it connects to the last card that I was like, these are the energies that we're kind of going into. It was something of wands. I think it was like 9 of wands or something, where these are the energies that we're kind of like taking on now, where it's like we're heading in the direction that we want to go in, right? Take courage is like you're taking action. The card itself says, you have been disappointed, you have undergone defeat, you have felt the great heart within you you have felt the great heart within you crushed until it bled. Wow, that's like the three of swords type of energy, right? Take courage, for these experiences have tempered take courage, for these experiences have tempered the spiritual metal of which you are made. They are assets of incomparable value. Now that's very interesting that they mention metal, because metal is like an alchemist type of thing. So it's kind of like the courage. It's interesting, the courage that you've gained from your heart breaking so badly. That is an alchemized thing. It's like all of your hurts that have kind of transpired in the past, they're now coming in the form of courage. They're being transformed, okay? And maybe this is why you're tired. It's like, or the energies are of this sort today, where you're like a little like not maybe yourself so much, if you're like me, where it's like energetically like your A team is working on you, kind of like transmuting those energies from all of this hurt and like negative and whatever defeatness and great. I love how they describe that, where your great heart within you crushed until it bled. Like that's literally, I feel like, what we've kind of all undergone a little bit in the past, and thank God it's in the past. But now it's transmuting all of that negative energy into way more positives, of the courageous type of positive energy, where you literally can go more into depth of taking yourself and applying it towards your dreams. So it's kind of like you're moving forward, and that's beautiful. And I feel like as if you're going to feel it come into gear, like there's going to be a kick there today, where it's like a, jumpstart, kickstart, like that type of thing. And whether that be kickstart the website or whatever, because sometimes this is how like the universe plays. Like maybe you've been wanting to like start up a Kickstarter or something. And so you take courage in that, because again, that's a dream come true when you can kind of, participate in something, and whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. Is there more to say about this card? Okay, there is. I'm hearing diamond in the rough. So it's kind of like, what I'm getting is like, don't judge when you meet a person today, if they are kind of, if they're kind of like not up to par with you, or they're maybe they just come off as they don't give a shit, or maybe they just come off as like rough around the edges. It's like, just know that they've been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And they too are being transformed, right? So it's just kind of like, be very gentle with people today. One thing that I learned from my brother actually just this past weekend, which is very interesting, and he shared it with me. I don't know where he found it from, but he was saying how, if people were to wear signs around their necks letting other people know, like what, like a necklace, right? Letting other people know the most like toughest problem that they're going through in life, like people would be a little bit more kinder. And I was like, holy shit, that is so fucking the truth, right? Because we'd all be a little bit more easy on each other. We'd all be a little gentle, because like we'd think before we'd act, right? But, same goes with like, I always say like, we all have hearts behind our skin suits. So but it takes somebody to remember that, right? And then to act from that position, rather than, oh, I just see a skin suit and there's nothing inside of you, right? And so you can like fucking, fly any type of words at this person, not give a damn shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is completely hurtful, you know? And if you think about it, over and over and over in your life, like if this has happened to you, and it's happened to the best of all of us, it's like you need to be the one that stops that shit, right? So because it's like there's no reason for it anymore, you know? And not only that, but you have to think about karma. Karma is a very, you know, there's a cause and effect to everything. So if you tell somebody no all of their life, or, you know, and not have it balanced out with a yes, or if you know, I don't know. I was like, if you don't, like, you know, believe in somebody, or if you don't, like, if you choose to do something that's just not in alignment with love, or out of alignment with love, you know, you're literally going to get that back at you at one point or another. And depending on how intense you do it, which is very interesting, you get it back, that type of intensity, you get that type of intensity back, and then it's like double time. So it's like, sometimes I have compassion for people, but then I'm like, yo, the thing is, I also can't, like, it's not me, like, not to be an asshole, but like, it's like, I'm not God, and I cannot give them the compassion sometimes, even though I try to stay neutral in those positions, put it that way, because sometimes when I can't give compassion, and sometimes when I can't, when I just, because, you know, there's two people involved, and sometimes you can't get over things fast enough because time heals, right? So it's like, when you take the neutral position, that's still a moving ahead towards the courageous route, but it's also like, it takes courage to speak your truth too, right? Which is what I'm kind of doing, which is basically saying, like, if people don't act out of compassion, which is a courage, right? Then I too have the courage not to kind of gift another person compassion, in terms of, like, sometimes, like, when they're really, like, maybe in need of it, because of the fact that, you know, I'm also here in an understanding position to understand that I am a balancer also, right? So I am both the dark and the light. I am not just I am a follower of the light, you know, and I do that, and I appreciate that, and I preach that, and I practice that, absolutely, because I know that that's the type of life I'm after, okay? And that's when people say, like, oh, not everybody's perfect. It's like, no, well, everybody's actually perfect. It's just that it's funny, like, everybody's divinely perfect. And the more louder your imperfection is, the more beautiful you become, because you shine light on all of your perfections, and then no one can fucking say anything about you, because you're just like, dude, I've owned up to all of my shit, right? But the whole thing is, it's like, what did I want to add to that? Is that, you can't, like, I don't know what I wanted to, I just, like, guys, I'm, like, totally not in the mental space to even do that. Like, I was even thinking, I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this, but I was getting, like, just do it, right? And I'm glad, because a lot of, you know, wisdom is coming out of it. But I'll have to get back to that later, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's just, like, one of those things, like, just take courage, because, you know, to own up to, like, what is good for you. Like, so also a card, two cards that kind of popped up today in my world were, you know, individuality and integrity. And it's like, that's, you know, owning up to your shit is, like, exactly it takes courage. It, you know, it also, like, it takes courage, and, you know, individuality and integrity, they're hand in hand. Like, you cannot be your own individual without your own integrity. And I can tell you right now, I own up to that. I know that's, like, an asshole-ish type of thing to me, but this is how I work in my life, where it's just like I love compassion, but some people don't, like, I cannot heal everybody, right? I'm like a one-man, you know, fucking one-man company type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I manage myself. Now, the whole thing is, I can't manage everybody else and, you know, every detail about them. So I can only manage all the details about myself. And in knowing that, sometimes I'm too busy gifting the self-love that I need to myself rather than having to give compassion towards somebody else and what they need. But also, I used to fight with myself a lot, and I'm like, damn, like, to be a really good human being, like, that's what it would take. And it's like, no, that's actually not what it would take, because that's what people expect out of you, but that's not the reality of the case. The reality of the case is some people fucking hurt you, and the reality of it is sometimes you're not ready to give them the compassion that they deserve. But also the reality is you're not the one behind their mind and their brain and their heart making decisions that they've made in the past all the way up to the present and moving forward, right? So they too have to deal with the cause and effects of their own behavior, whether they chose to go a bad and nasty route, or a good route, and it's, when I say bad and nasty or the good route, I mean by decision making, right? Because everybody, literally, I learned this too, and I might have shared this in my other videos too, but I'm latching onto it, is like everybody's actually really good. It's just that they choose to, side with the fucking bad sometimes, like, which is whatever, their ego and shit. So they choose to either side with their misery or they choose to side with their joy. Like, that's basically what it is. But that's so your decisions either create your misery or your decisions create your joy. That's basically what it comes from. So it's not up to you to save a person who's fucking miserable because of the fact that they've done, they've made decisions without you in the past that have now caused them to be in this type of what is it called, whatever scenario in their life or stage, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't feel, that quote unquote, oh, I feel bad for that person. No, I'm actually very fucking neutral. And sometimes I'm even more like, you know what, that fucking person deserved it. Like, I literally own up to that shit, because I'm like, like, we're all trying really hard and now you're fucking it all up for all of us. Like, so I don't give a fuck. Like, if it really comes down to that, I'm such an asshole when it comes down to it, but that's how I can be an asshole, because I actually stick to what I preach. I practice what I preach. I do that in my entire life, right? Entire life. I don't even skip a beat when it comes down to that. And I can tell you that right now, even though sometimes it doesn't look like it, it is on the inside, right? But again, people don't see what goes on your inside. They'll judge you from the outside and they'll be like, look at this fucking crazy. And you know what I'm saying? But, it's like, but they don't take other people into consideration, which I feel like is fucking crazy. So and actually what it is, here's a spiritual truth for you all. Taking other people into consideration is actually taking yourself into consideration first, because your joy will exude out to everybody else around you. And so when you decide to be miserable in life, that is actually a pure selfishness. Because when you radiate that shit out to everybody else, you're not giving a damn shit. You're actually waiting to take in somebody else's joy that they've worked so fucking hard for. That's what I want to say with that. So taking courage is speaking my truth in that essence, where I just felt like I needed to teach everybody out there in terms of how life really works, right? Like, you want to get real? That was real spiritual truth right there. Are we moving on to the next card? Okay, yeah. I guess they really wanted me to go into that. It's funny because I had to, before I had to check in to see, like, oh, is there more for this card? And they're like, yeah. There you go. That was the more. State of mind is towards the end of the day. And, I actually, funny enough, I feel like we may just be starting with the end of the day first, if that makes any sense to you. So if that's a perspective that helps you out in your life today, you're welcome. I was going to say, make it so, and you're welcome, because I just feel like that came up for a reason. So yeah, we're starting with the end in mind first, right? Like the end result first. So that's hilarious. The end goal in mind. I forgot how they say it. Like, I think that's how they say it. Start with the end goal in mind first. Yeah. Which I actually truly believe in that. Okay. So State of mind. Let's see what that is. Oh, that's all about gold. Look at that golden state of mind you're at. Yes, that's awesome. Ooh, and diamonds. So, wow, look at that. Diamond, diamond, and pearls. Guys, it's a fucking rich ass day today. Yes. It says a state of mind is something that one assumes. It cannot be purchased. It must be created. And again, that's a joyous state, right? So you can't purchase joy. You can't purchase all of these types of feminine concepts, right? Because concept is pretty much feminine. It's invisible. It's an energy, and physical is, you know, when you have something physical like manifested in your life, like it's something tangible. That's more masculine energy, right? So, and maybe that's actually wrong because, you know, in essence, like you have, if I were to think about it, you have like, you have women and men here, you know, together on this earth. It's not like the females are invisible, but technically, right, they kind of are. If there's so much like women empowerment trying to come back into play, right? So they're feeling invisible. That's interesting. So the whole thing is, you know, and it actually, just to let you guys know, women, it's okay to, and for men too, it doesn't matter. It's okay to be invisible, actually. And sometimes that's a damn good thing because you are doing more learning in that state because, you know, again, life is filled with like, you know, invisibility and then also recognition. So it's like, imagine you were to get recognized all the time. You would be so over it after a while. You'd be like, oh my God, leave me the fuck alone. And invisible is a great, it's a great opportunity to kind of like go within and be by yourself and just be like, yo, I just want to do what I want to do. Sometimes, you know, you can get wild there. You can do what you like. No one, you know, that's why, I mean, I just think it's just a beautiful thing. So don't be scared or don't be pissed off that, you know, you may be on the invisible side of life a little bit or like in limbo even, right? Where you're like, kind of like, okay, I've been doing this invisible thing for a very long time. And it's just like, yo, can somebody like, like toss a chick like a fucking, you know, physical diamond, I'm going to say, instead of a bone, because we ain't dogs. We're fucking ladies. We're ladies. So it's kind of like, okay, so make that your, make that your, you know, make a golden nugget a part of your state of mind, like positivity again, right? A state of mind is something that one assumes. It cannot be purchased. It must be created. Okay, so that's why we were talking about that. It's because the invisibility is like the invisibility stages of your life is where you can actually create in your mind more, because you're kind of like not distracted, right? So that's a beautiful thing. Like sometimes I've always, it's so, with me and my family, like, yo, sometimes, you know, because you're such a light bringer and it's a beautiful thing, but you also need time to work on stabilizing that light or grow that light or expand that light, right? So sometimes I would just ask them, I'm like, yo, can you just pretend like I don't exist today? Like, just do that. Like, just, sometimes I just need it. You know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't get it. I mean, I wouldn't even get why I'm asking for it, but I just felt like, you know, that would be like what my body needed. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like just ask for what you feel you need, even though you may not know why you're asking for it, you know? But, you know, because sometimes it's readings like these that will reveal, it's like, oh, that's why I did that day. Like, I didn't even know that. And that's why I love readings, right? Because they just reveal so much. All right, 18, we need the high semester. Ooh, I see the sun. Wow, that's like the brightest. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, so, 18, I need the highest and best 3 cards of the Divine Feminine that that match up to the layout that I already have here. Like that kind of support. I'm going to say enhance the believing capabilities of it. How about that? Yeah, so we need 3 cards, please, for today's that correlate with today's energies and the card spread we already have. Do I stop shuffling cards right here right now? Okay. Do I speak about the bottom of the deck card? Okay. Later even? Oh, that is so interesting, guys. Okay. So the first card up is, and this is more towards, I feel like, the first part of your day, right? The smaller cards, guys, is more towards the first part of your day. Fuck. Oh no, it's here. Okay, sorry. I just needed to make sure. Oh, look at this. So I want to say that this is the Ace of Cups. Holy smokes. That is so cool. And I'm going to just double check that, but I think that it is because it's the one. I just have to breathe, guys. And thank you for bearing with me because, you know, my goal with these readings is to come at you with whatever type of energy that I'm feeling, because the whole thing is, I don't want to wait for perfection anymore. I want to wait for, I just want to, I just want to come at you with these readings that need to be, you know, that need to be heard. So whatever energy, like I'm human too. I'm not going to always have joyous energy, even though I most of the time do have joyous energy. And I'm grateful for it. Now I'm confused. I'm not going to even lie. This card, it's card number 1. Okay. So I want to say, hold on a second. All right, so it's card number 1, and I believe it's the chalices, but I'm actually not sure. But it would make sense, right? With the demand prosperity card, it would make sense that it would be the chalices. So it says abundance, starting an artistic work, and then it's fertility and gaining of faith. So it's kind of like everything that you've been guided towards today, or guided towards, like in terms of intuition, I feel is right on point. Like I don't feel like you, like I feel like you know what's going on in your life, and that's why you're able to kind of steer the boat in the right direction, because you're like, okay, like I actually know where I'm going. I'm just a little exhausted. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, abundance, demand prosperity. It's like how I see it is like, okay, so you're of an abundance mindset this morning. You woke up on that note, even though, and I'm talking about gratitude actually here. This is what I'm getting. Is like, I'm talking about gratitude, and that type of abundance mindset where it's like, yo, you just feel so fulfilled that you don't even have to eat in the morning. Like you're just like, yo, I love how life is going. And that's like how I woke up this morning. So I feel like that's kind of pretty awesome. And then you might just be receiving something, like physical, tonight, like, you know, at the end of the day, like where it's like the real oh, look at that. Real prosperity, like money is coming in, right? Or of that sort, whatever you're like looking for, like whatever you feel like you can have rebalanced. And I don't ever want to say lacking, because you're never really lacking anything. You just feel like you can kind of be a little bit more happier with having a little bit more of something, you know, in terms of gaining it back in, because you've given away. So it's kind of like a give and take, right? It's never, and when it comes down to it also, it's like you're talking, all of this is talking about love, and love is never lost, right? It's always just kind of like, it's just given and taken, right? So it's never lost. It's just, you know, sometimes, it's the receptive factor of it. So sometimes we feel maybe that, you know, we've, I want to say, like, not close ourselves off to it, but like more so like we could use more of it to make us feel a little bit better. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. And, you know, just to regain ourselves a little bit better. So it's like, don't ever be afraid to ask for exactly what you need. If you need more money, just pray for more money, right? Like, just do that. And no one's going to judge you for it. It's like, it's really not a big deal at all. Like, it's just you and the God, you and Grandmaster G, along with Grand Majesty G, right? So, because God too has I feel, that's my belief, is that since everything is kind of in these polarities, you can't really ignore the aspect of what is, the feminine. Like, you can't ignore the feminine as much as you want. So what I'm trying to say, and I'm not even trying to be like women empowerment right now, because I'm actually for the both. Like, I love both, the feminine and masculine aspects of life, because we need both. We can't just like think that that we can survive on our own without it. Like, we're all made up of it. We're all, so, by you ignoring one portion of yourself, if it's like, if you're a masculine and you're ignoring the feminine aspect of your life, it's like you're never going to be fulfilled, right? You're never going to be, because you're not being real with yourself. And, and same goes with women. If a female is denying herself of the masculine aspect of herself, then, if she doesn't like, let's say, men outside of herself, then that means she doesn't like the masculine within herself. And it's like, you can't do that, because you're actually doing yourself a disservice. And again, it all comes back to you. So it's like, do the wholesome self-love work for yourself in order to gain a more stabilized foundation and grounding for yourself. Somebody sneezing in the other room, so that is the truth. You know what I'm saying? So again, don't ignore any aspect of yourself on the inside and the outside, because we all fucking need each other. That's basically what it comes down to. So I always said, I'm never gonna be a feminist, like complete, like feminist, because of the fact that, first of all, I understand the spiritual truth of everything, or I try to, at least. Like, that's what I go after. I try to understand it better. And before I do, I'm never going to fucking take sides, like, because taking sides is bullshit. I rather just be happy and with all of my abundance and all of what creates the abundance, right? So I'm like never going to take sides on either of that. What was I going to say? Yeah, and that causes for fucking blame game and all this shit, and it's like, no, we don't need any of that shit. So, put that shit to the side and get yourself in the concrete center where we're going to be, which is the happy place, because that unites, that's a bridge, and that takes you, that like really enhances, and it enhances you, and it takes you further, like in a more heightened direction, right? Okay. So the next card is Take Courage. Wow. Dude, this is crazy good. Wow. So Take Courage has the Wheel of Fortune. That popped up just last night too. That's crazy. So basically, all right, what are we going to it's just Wheel of Fortune. It's a fulfillment. It's like, I feel like this is a decision made, because you're demanding prosperity. It's a decision made that you're just like, I'm going to head. Oh shit. This is what I'm seeing. Okay. See this guy at the top? He's pointing. He already made his decision in which way he's going. And by him pointing, he's like, he's like pinpointing it. He's aimed. He's already fired. He already sees where he's going. He's like, I'm focused. I'm focused, and I'm excited about where life is taking me, and I'm going that way. And so with that clarity of like where his heart wants to lead him, and again, courage is heart, right? So listen to your heart today, because that's where it's going to lead you to, in terms of knowing exactly where you're going, right? And again, courage, that's so interesting. And you're going to be doing that with like a lion, because Wizard of Oz, the lion, and how he wanted more courage, like, or he wanted a heart. I think that's what it was, but I don't know what it was. He wanted either more heart or courage. I can't remember what it was. And so it's like, now you're able to take this courage on, because that is like the second step, or the bigger step, the bigger picture step, after you've decided to become your own fucking, royalty in your own life, and take the courage to, go and do your own thing towards where you need to go, right? So basically all you've now, and again, remember when I said heightened, like the middle of the midday, or like the theme of the day, or, just kind of the happy route is in the middle. you now have, and it takes you further. That's basically what I wanted to try to say. It takes you further. You've now like put all these lower vibrational energies aside, and you've put them below you, you've put them away from you, you've conquered it all, and now you're sitting at the top really high on your, Wheel of Fortune wheel, and and you might even be going on a Ferris wheel ride today, just to let you know about that, because that's what I just saw. So, if that needs to help you to support, if you need to have some fun in terms of supporting these concepts today, go right the hell ahead, because that's super fun. But, or if you see a Ferris wheel or something, just say, thank you, universe, because, they're showing you Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor today. So, and again, because you've dropped all of this has been released. So by midday, you probably released a lot of stuff. And you're able to take on this extra energy. And look, he's like really, compared to these guys, they're really pale and stuff. This guy's like really healthy, if you can tell. I don't know if the lighting's really, but it's like it's very slight, but he's healthier being on top. Like he kind of like sees like all this stuff that like, kind of made him this way. He's dropped it and, made him a little bit, I guess, like, I want to say either unhealthy, which that could be the case, or, all of the kind of, in a sense, demons too, like all of your demons, because these people I feel like are trying to like wrestle with him and shit. And it's like, this person which is you are literally, you're like saying, you know what? Nah, I dropped all of you guys, and that takes courage. And now I know where I'm going, and that's all that is important. Look how beautiful. Sorry, I just like look how beautiful this color scheme is. I don't know if you can tell. Look how beautiful and angelic the color scheme is. I can't really. It's so beautiful, like like the white and the white, and the greens, and I also think that this is probably Archangel Raphael making his both Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael. They're being very gentle with you now in terms of your prosperity and fulfillment, and thank you, A-Team. I'm feeling somebody. I'm feeling my guide. So it's like, I just kind of know that that's, in a sense, the truth, right? They're just like, it's really funny. I'm wearing these colors today. Like I'm wearing this green and I'm wearing this blue, and somehow they like really mesh well together. So it's super interesting that physically in color therapy, by using color therapy, I'm like actually demanding prosperity. So do you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, you don't demand prosperity just by words. I know I mentioned action before, like you're taking action. Maybe I even blended it with this card. I don't know, but that's basically, it's just one of those things. You're taking action about it. Like you're moving away from the people that, oh no, it really was about this card, I think. Either way, it doesn't fucking matter, but I'm just like connecting things. And what I see here, interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys can tell too, because it's very slight. It's like the clouds against this background are a little golden. Oh yeah, maybe you can tell. They're a little golden. So it's like, dude, you, not only do you have like the golden type of, what is it called? Crown on, but there's so much sparkle. There's so much like, just beauty around you. You know what I'm saying? There's just such magic. Gold, right? And again, we're talking about clouds and air, and then it takes us to the golden state of mind, right? Isn't that amazing? I just love that. I just love that. Okay. So, again, these are this reading can just be like a wave of energy, which is fucking beautiful. So like it could be, so if you get that, it's kind of going from the yin this morning to the yang, demand prosperity. It could be like this, throughout the day. So just see how it works out for you, because it's super fun to play around with. Moving on to the state of mind card, which is, Two of Wands. Interesting. Okay, let's see what that is. Two of Wands. They're going to call it something else here. I know it. Oh, no, they're not. I was wrong. Okay. Got it. So Two of Wands is union, balance that leads to development. And it's also like, I feel like rest and relaxation, or rest and enjoyment. And also all of your your solutions to your worries. God, what a fucking amazing, phase that's opening up for all of us. It's so beautiful. All of us that have really, really freaking worked, man. So when I say the collective, this is really funny. I'm just going to add this in here. When I say the collective, I mean the collective aspect of the world that is doing good for themselves and is on an individual and integrity just kind of lifestyle. Okay. So that's exactly who I'm geared towards. I'm geared towards those people, like the lighter people of life, rather than, and sometimes, even if the people who are kind of miserable, you're more than welcome to hop on and learn, whatever it is you need to learn. But some people sometimes, and sometimes miserable people need to kind of have their eyes open. So I'm willing to be that person too, but I'm not actually giving that the energy. So when people are concerned with people leaving comments, oh, nasty comments, it's listen, I know we're all human, but I also understand that as a human, people are going through stuff. So if you need to express yourself in a nasty way in the commentary, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. I am never going to be oh my God, this person is so against me. Because guess what? I'm not against myself. So, and all, like I said, I'm really simplified in my lifestyle, where it's I manage myself. I cannot manage another person's fucking actions. So it's you want to go and write something nasty in anybody's commentary, that's representing you. You know what I'm saying? That's not representing me. That's not even a spiritual truth. And I'm all about spiritual truths about myself, right? So again, this, selfishly speaking, could even be an entire reading about me and not having anything to do with anybody else. And I'd still be happy, right? So it's the whole thing is I don't give a shit. If this doesn't resonate with you, then it's totally fine. But at this end of the day, I know that I believed in myself enough to come onto the video to present this as what I believe that it should be, right? And if it doesn't resonate with people in that way, then fuck it. There's nothing I can't maneuver myself as much as people really expect one to maneuver. I just have to do what comes to me, on an intuition basis, which is my integrity. But integrity is also intuition mixed with character, right? To listen to your intuition, and then to also listen to, your good character aspect of yourself. And then that creates your individuality, because then after you do that, you're just fuck it. I'm actually doing really well in this life. So I feel free. You know what I'm saying? You're treating yourself right. You're treating others right. And you're I'm feeling really good. And sometimes even when it flops a little bit, because nothing's perfect, people sometimes, when you're dealing with two people might be at different energies or dealing with different things in their life. And it's the energy might not match up. So things end up flopping a little bit, but you can come back from it by apologizing, or just by, saying oh, I didn't fucking realize something, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, you should feel super good about yourself. That's, and that's a gift you need to give yourself, and if you're a miserable person, you have to at least see the good side of yourself and the good side of life to at least come back to neutral. You know what I'm saying? So you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to love yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Took me a long ass fucking time to learn that. Let me just tell you guys, because I was born into a neutral space, and I was doing this fucking flip flop, trying to make myself happy, then trying to make my parents happy, trying to make my family happy. But I knew I was a freak of some sort doing this, being into mysticism, or being a mystic, right? And then some people, your family's finding you way off and mysterious, and some people are finding you way fucking magical, and it's yo, I'm just going to side with my mysticism to then absolutely help the magical people out. And the people who find me mysterious in a negative way, fuck off. Like I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Because I choose what I choose out of my life, and they choose the same thing, but I'm not going to stick around and wait for it, you know? So moving on to, all right. So, yo, I don't give a fuck. I was like thinking my readings go so long, but sometimes I just have to, like, this is a form of my expression. And I'm just really grateful because I love the fucking wisdom that comes out of it. That I was never, like, I could never even plan this, right? So it's kind of like, it's like a card reading and a lecture at the same time in terms of how to live your life better. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? I just like roll with it. It's like, okay, like, that's cool. You want me to like, really kind of just, you know, talk about believing in yourself? I absolutely will. And again, this is, it's kind of like faith readings, but also believing in yourself readings, which I love. It's like a blend of both worlds. Pretty awesome. And again, too, so, you know, maybe that's basically what this card is all about is, you know, the faith. You have to hold on to your faith and believe in yourself to go forward. You know what I'm saying? And you will have the world once you do that. It's like, but you also have this vision, like your state of mind gives you this vision about the world where it's like you either see it on a very, like you're above it, which is actually pretty awesome. Like if your state of mind is filled with positivity and patience, let me just tell you something. You will feel on top of the world, that's basically what this card is all about. This card, the world here is smaller than the man because this man's mindset or this person's mindset is able to now look from a bigger perspective onto the world to be like, okay, I can help out in this way now. And especially because I believe in myself and I have faith in myself. I mean, and today is December 4th, okay? Now, let's take into consideration what I just said, the 4 concepts. Positivity, patience, believing in yourself, having faith. Okay, 4. Those are the stabilizers. Those are what's going to make you conquer your fucking next couple, you know, your life ahead in a way more balanced way. So make sure that you're, you know, and again, you're going to feel like you're on top of the world today. And hold on. Ah, okay, that's interesting. The song that's playing now is I Want to See You Be Brave. So I know I had to tap into that just to see. I'm like, okay, that's what makes you brave, guys. Those 4 things that I've just said. So if you have to make a note somewhere, do that. Because that was a big learn for me too, in terms of all that connectingness, right? So, and again, or the 2 could definitely be talking about the positivity and patience, just like, so it could be the 2 or the 4 that we just, you know, that we were talking about in terms of being brave to forge ahead towards the next phase of your life. I mean, I think that's fucking beautiful. Is there anything else to, oh, and I'm getting well balanced. Like you're going to feel well balanced in it. You're feeling strong and mighty and healthy in it, you know? Wow, I just correlated like the crown and having golden thoughts. Like you can only become a really good self-ruler of yourself, meaning a self-manager of yourself, by having really amazing, positive, and patient-filled thoughts. That's amazing. I love that. It's funny. The manifestation card is coming today. It's coming out today, and so is the abundance card, which is demanding prosperity. So again, that's maybe the 2 that they're talking about there. All right, one last card in terms of what is the theme of believing today. Let's see. Please place the highest and best card at the top of this deck. Do I stop shuffling cards right here right now? Yeah, I felt that. Oh my God, I was just talking about manifestation and it popped up again. It was at the bottom of the deck and now it's at the top of the deck. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right. And so if you can position this here, like this is where I would or want to position it. So it's kind of like, so here's what it is. It's like a protruder outer. Okay. That made no sense, but it was fun. So this is crazy. So the morning you're gonna feel really on top of your world by the actions that you take because you're taking courage in some sort of way, right? It's like you've kind of decided where you're going. You're taking courage towards it. Manifestation is, this could actually be a project that you're working on. That because we're in retrograde now, right? So it's kind of like it's something. So I want to say it's a project that you're, and sorry about the outside noise. There's a project that you've had from before that is a Wheel of Fortune. It's a really good idea, but it's now coming forth where it hit you in terms of what's a better route to kind of develop it as, right? So you've had this for, like, there was just like an idea that came to you. And you've already seen the final result as to why you would want to do this project, right? So that's why it's maybe come around, like it's maybe been around for so long, but yet you haven't had the kind of drive or discipline to kind of go after it, to manifest it further. But now you're getting you're getting the divine timing kind of efforts behind it, where you're like, okay, this is what I want for my life. I now feel the courage. Like there's nothing else stopping me, because I've really kind of let all these excuses or these people or whatever the fuck was in your way before, you've dropped them. And so now you're like starting from like a midpoint of, I'm resetting, but with a, clean slate. Like it's a clean piece of paper that you're like, okay, going to now, and I want to say forgiveness too. Very interesting. I just like kind of opened the cards up in a interesting way, and it turned to forgiveness. So it's like you've forgiven, you've done all the shit that you needed to do, like emotionally, energetically, physically, whatever. Like you've just dropped all this stuff, and then that allowed you to kind of be lighter. So that's, you end up lightening up yourself, taking you to the top, then taking you to the courage, then taking you to manifestation, which drives you in an ascending type of way to the top, right? So it's like this manifestation is a light coming or shining down on you today that's really kind of pulling you like lengthening you towards the skies and towards the heavens above, where it's like you're able to, stand tall in what you want and go after it today and manifest it, right? Manifest it. And it's like, and by you doing that, and even though this manifestation is kind of like in all areas of your life, I feel like it's it like shines onto all areas of your life. I feel as though taking courage will bring you to a golden state of mind, because you're going to get something that you really wanted to manifest. Like this golden state of mind is happening also due to you having taken the courage to get something that you've always wanted, which is going to elevate your state of mind. And then this is kind of like reaching the top of the mountain and fucking putting the what's it called? It's a sword that I'm thinking in my head, but it's like, what's that story? The Man and the Sword or some shit? Like, I forgot what it was, but it's basically, it's like stabbing the sword in the ground to be like, I fucking received it. Like I did this shit. Like I created this shit. And so you're now on top of the world and you're looking back, and actually this could even be you reflecting in terms of like, wow, you've waited so long for this to fucking manifest, and it's finally arrived, and you're just like, You're like, you're really on top of the world. So it could be that, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny how this guy has blonde hair, right? Not that I'm saying blonde, I'm a brunette, so I'm not gonna say, yo, anybody's better than me. I'm just, that's a natural, that's a natural, like, not that I, like, okay, that came out really fucking crazy because like my whole thing is it's like I absolutely would give people the credit where it's due. I'm not that type of person. I'm just saying I'm just saying like this guy came with like this guy is wearing brown, you know what I'm saying, but his crown turned into like a lightening of his hair even. Do you get what I'm saying? It like his state of mind like just I want to say like kind of like bled over into the color of his hair, which is, like, what am I trying to say? Like, when a candle kind of like bleeds over something, it's kind of like this crown just bled over his hair and it has now dyed his hair into blonde, which is kind of like a permanent state of positivity and patient mindset, that type of thing. It's like you nailed it. So it's like you get to sit back and relax. And when I was talking about relax and enjoy what you've manifested, and what else did it say? Union, balance that leads to development. It's like, yeah, you can just relax and enjoy the aspect of you've done the unitedness in terms of creating what you want for yourself in terms of your mentality, even because there's a lot of clouds here. So it's and again, mind and mind. So, air clouds that you get to like, you're like, okay, I attack something and I feel really like reassured within yourself, right? So, and it's like, okay, and then tomorrow's like another day where you can just feel proud that you've done, this big ordeal for yourself. And by proud, I mean, you could be grateful for yourself that you did that, right? Like grateful for that, for the courage that has been given to you to manifest what you want. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Is there anything else there for me to say? No, there isn't, guys. So that's your daily read for today. So happy abundance. If you can, go out into the environment and into nature today. Also, if you can, be by water. And and just enjoy all the elements of your life and the life that you are creating as it unfolds. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.